Hey everybody, so what we are doing here today is a 200 subscriber contest to Jambo Comics. So I just found out about his channel thanks to Comic Mag's Musing, and while I've been on his channel you can tell that the guy has a passion for Golden Age comics, so if he watches this he's going to be heartbroken, absolutely devastated to learn that I don't know if we have any Golden Age comics. So what I had to do is I had to take it upon myself to substitute Golden Age for Modern, which is like a sin. But basically, he wants you to show your favorite hero from each age of comics. He lists from Golden to Copper. So what I'm going to have to do is, instead of Golden, I'm going to have to do Modern. So I'm going to do Modern, Copper, Bronze, Silver. So this is my entry into it. We will see if Justin and Jessica participate, but no matter what, I'm going to do mine. So for Modern, it was a toss-up between Damian Wayne and who ultimately ended up winning it. And that is Cosmic Ghost Rider. So for the rest of the rules and regulations, I'm going to do what my boss tells me to do here. Okay guys, sorry about that. We were trying to fix the glare and almost broke everything. So this will just have to work for now. For the rest of the rules and regulations, I'm going to link his video in the description. So if you're interested in participating and you want to know the rest of the rules, click on his video and go check it out. So Damian Wayne was second to Cosmic Ghost Rider because at the end of the day I had fallen out of modern comics. And these two characters really grappled me back in. That's my autograph of Donny Cates from Cosmic Ghost Rider 1. I would go on to collect the whole series. Got it monthly back when the channel first started. I don't know how many this thing is going to fit. But this was a book I got monthly and read monthly. And really enjoyed the whole series. So Cosmic Ghost Rider, Frank Castle as the Ghost Rider. Very great read. He's gone on to be in more things, such as Cosmic Ghost Rider Destroys the Marvel History or whatever, and Revenge of the Cosmic Ghost Rider. So I have more reading. But yeah, that's probably my favorite modern character. It was tough though, it was tough. So now for my favorite Bronze Age. I was going to leave this out because I kind of thought it was cheating. We already had Cosmic Ghost Rider. So I did not even know if I should include not the original Ghost Rider and not any of the Western Ghost Riders, but Danny Ketch's 90s Ghost Rider. And at the end of the day, I decided it's a completely different Ghost Rider. And this is honestly maybe my favorite run of comics in the entire history of comic books. There's, in my opinion, just nothing better than the 90s Ghost Rider run. This got me into comics. I mean, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Batman, all those guys played a big part too, but this run is what cemented comics as a medium to me and not just kind of superheroes in general. This really showed me, hey, I love comic books as a form of entertainment. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to add, but this is just maybe my favorite run in all of comic books. It's a great run. I've been collecting since I was a teenager. As a kid, this was the very first comic run that I went for. Not to be outdone by, again, Comic Mag Musing. He's been showing off, he's been flexing some of his Ghost Rider prowess on us, so I had to bust it out. Okay, I wasn't sure. I didn't know if I was going to. This is arguably the rarest comic book in comic book history. It's heating up. This book is going to probably be over $1 billion, because you know there's talks of Ghost Rider and the Midnight Suns coming in the movies, Doctor Strange and Blade. So when him and Blade team up, oh my gosh, this book, especially if it's still sealed and in the poly bag, you're probably talking upwards of $10 billion. Thankfully, I have about 400 to 1,500 of these lying around. And then recently, this is kind of the new spec. This is the new play, if you will. This book is kind of getting mainstream. Everybody wants a copy. So the diehard people have started moving towards, you guys can see this is part 1 of 6 of the Midnight Suns. This is issue 31. It also comes in a poly bag. This is part 6 of 6. Now this one has not quite hit $1 billion yet. This one can still be found relatively cheap. I'm going to say maybe 400,000 to 600,000, just depending on the day, you know. So this is certainly a book I would try to spec on now while it's still cheap, because dude, once they announce who's playing Ghost Rider, and once you actually see him in that cameo, it's gone, it's over with. So that is kind of my spec play of the week, is get those books now while you can, because they can still be had for under $15 billion right now. So it's a good long-term play, I think, because the sky's the limit on those books. Now for what do we have? Bronze. This was very tricky for me. I went back and forth between 2 characters. I got cheeky and cheated again, but this is going to be the Teen Titans. Yes, I'm kind of cheating. I have a whole team in here, and honestly, when I start talking about the Teen Titans, I wanted to just pull out the entire 80s run and just throw it on here, but I grabbed some of the highlights. Sorry about that. I remembered I had to grab a couple more of these Teen Titan books. Teen Titans, there's 2 real runs that I say I love to read now as an adult. Whenever I fall out of reading comic books, 2 runs that always pull me back in, where I just want to pick up the next book and keep reading, and one of those is Teen Titans. I feverishly collected this run during season 1. If you go back and watch some of those videos, and even into season 2, this is First Brother Blood, very underrated villain. You know, we've been watching the Titans show. We haven't finished season 2 yet because our DC thing expired, and now I don't know if they're going to be moving it to HBO or what, so I'm trying to get a better feel for that. But I've been really enjoying this era of the Titans, because in this point you still have Robin, Starfire, Wonder Girl, Raven, Beast Boy, like we all know from the cartoon, but you also get Kid Flash, you get Aqualad very sparingly. Is there anyone else? Oh, Wonder Girl, that's the other character that's not really in the cartoons. But yeah, these were books that were immediately on my to-get list when we got into collecting more throwback comics and going to conventions and comic book stores. The 80s Teen Titans run was something I aggressively went after. Maybe the most aggressive I've ever bought comic books in my life was to get this original run before it transitioned into reprints of the 84 run. So to me, this is just a blast to read. It still holds up pretty darn well. It's still very enjoyable. So now we're on to Silver Age. Alright, my Silver Age hero was going to be my Bronze Age, because I love reading his Bronze Age run, but I found a way to just sneak him into the Silver Age, and that's Daredevil. Now when you talk about the 60s, this could have been Spider-Man. Very tough for me when you're talking about this original wave of Marvel books. You had Thor, Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Spider-Man, Daredevil, and you know, a whole host of other characters. And the 2 that have kind of emerged and always been there for me, well, I mean, Ghost Rider came around a little later in the 70s. So the 2 characters from the 60s that have really stood out to me is Daredevil, and I think I like reading his Silver Age books just a tad bit more than Spider-Man's books, but both characters, when you're talking about the 60s, in my opinion, are kind of the books. I mean, I know Fantastic Four, I know X-Men, I know the Avengers, but this and Spider-Man are 2 books that I just absolutely adore from the 60s. I've read some of these old Daredevil books. I have one of the omnibus for Daredevil, and so I've read those early adventures with the Purple Man and the Owl and some of his other books, and I just really enjoy. Matt Murdock may be my favorite alter ego. That's an interesting video. Favorite alter egos. But yeah, I really love the Daredevil character. I've loved him. Hope none of you throw up. Make sure you're not eating any cereal right now. I've loved him ever since the Ben Affleck movie, and then the Charlie Cox Netflix series really cemented him as, I think, just maybe one of the best characters that Marvel has. And I think lately, as I've been buying comic books, he's been getting dangerously close to Ghost Rider as far as my favorite hero goes. It's so tough because Ghost Rider means so much to me. I mean, he made this list twice, for crying out loud. But I do think when you're talking early Bronze to Silver Age, I think Daredevil slightly edges out Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider. But that's very tough for me. Danny Ketch's 90s Bronze Age Ghost Rider run is one of the best things that's ever happened to comic books. But Daredevil's run through the 60s up into the 80s and maybe even the 90s. I haven't got to the 90s as far as Daredevil goes. But are true great works of comics. So I am sorry. I know it's kind of sour since his big thing is Golden Age comics. And we don't have any Golden Age comics, but that's just how it goes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed our offering here from the Modern Age down to the Silver Age. So go enter his contest. You can get extra entries. So if you haven't heard from one of the other great YouTubers, you can say that the Nostalgia Junkies sent you guys. That would be flattering. We get extra entries. But regardless, at the end of the day, just go and subscribe and check out it. And if you want to, you can do a video entry or you can comment. But either way, that is going to be my entry. So I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos.